So how was today? How was today? I see you over there in craftable things. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You said crack.
okay.
I'm doing
No
good.
problem. No
How are
problem.
you? Sorry.
All right. Have
That
you
was a mess
had?
up on my part.
Oh, no problem. Have you had opportunity to try the ink yet?
So have you how was your day today actually?
Girl, doing good, doing good, doing good. Girl, just been busy, excited. Girl, can't wait. Can you hear
So
me
you
good?
got a good bit of DTF going on?
Girl, yes. I fight with. Well, since it's new, I pretty much answer questions all day long. How to get colors right? What's a good printer? Just all day, all day, all day.
Yes, it is quite a task when you got folks that are interested in learning and they have a lot of questions and need a lot of guidance. I know I did. So DTF is uh, not an easy craft to get into, to
Yes,
say the
yes,
least.
yes. With these printers, they are very, very, very sensitive. Hey, Miss Deborah, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Tucker? Oh, we got Miss Tyra. I guess we got a couple of people in the room. So I guess let's get started. Let me start with the old intro. YouTube. What's going on? Big boy Prince by the big boy. We back at it again. Me and the baby's booty. We are about to drop some gems. Thank, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate y'all. We have a very, very, very special guest tonight on the Big Boy Spotlight. Everybody, welcome the baby's booty.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. I appreciate you having me. It's an honor.
Oh, thank you for blessing our show. It is such an honor to have you on our show. We can't thank you enough.
Again, the honor is all mine. It's not every day you get folks asking you to come be on their show, so look, it went dim her a little bit.
well, we gonna let it be known. You have an open invitation at any
Thank
time. You
you.
just let me. I can be driving down the street. You just let me know. I'm gonna pull over and we.
That works. Thank you very much.
All
Thank you.
right, all right. So let's see. Now you. So please let the people know. Who is the baby's booty? Could you just please let them know a little bit about yourself? Just tell the people. Just a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure. So the Baby's Booty is a crafting channel, and we started out with embroidery and slowly began to expand into many other areas. We also do vinyl or HTV with the Cricut machine or Silhouette or the Brother Scan and Cut. And we also do rhinestones. So I do bling. Um, we got into sublimation as well. And here recently, we got into doing DTF. Actually, we started that in April. Well, more in May. I haven't really done a lot of videos with the DTF because I'm still picking up on it myself. But the channel primarily has been, focused on the other four for the most part. So hopefully we'll be able to expand a little more into the DTF. But for whatever reason, our market isn't super strong with DTF just yet, probably because there is a significant investment involved in getting into DTF. But
Yes,
um,
ma'am.
we love crafting, so that's pretty much what we do over here. Anything that we can do to craft and decorate some stuff, we're all for it over here. We all for it.
Yeah, I was trying to do it. I was trying to do my homework, and I was saying, "Girl, you're into everything." I'm like, "Oh my God,
From
sublimation,
everything.
DTF, and
From everything.
embroidery, You know what? What was I've seen one? How do you do puff vinyl in embroidery? I was looking at it, I said, is that puff?
Hmm.
Was that puff vinyl I seen?
Well, so with embroidery, there is a puff embroidery. And what that basically is, usual embroidery is just regular stitches. But with the puff, what happens is just before you stitch a letter on a hat, for instance, you lay down a piece of foam and the embroidery machine stitches over the top of the foam. So what happens is that just that area of the letter stands higher than the rest of the embroidery around it. So it's not really vinyl, but it is a styrofoam material that goes up under the embroidery stitches. But the embroidery has to be done a certain way. You can't, well, it to make it work like it's supposed to, the embroidery has to be made for that type of embroidery process.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I was just going through the videos and I was like, that was just stuck out because I was like, what, doing vinyl too? I was like, oh my God. And then the puff. So I was
Hmm.
like, I mean, I guess the same thing they're doing over there with just the regular HTV vinyl. Y'all have the same thing going over there, huh?
Right, right. There's a lot. There's so many different things that a person can get into when you're talking about crafting that you just really can't cover everything. It's in my opinion, it's impossible. There's not enough time in the day to really, because there's also, because the vinyl that I show on the channel is for heat transfer, so that's for hats and shirts and shoes and bags, stuff like that. But then there's also regular vinyl, or permanent vinyl, adhesive vinyl rather,
Yes.
that is like
Yes.
stickers, like labels on jars and labels for drawers, stuff like, or window cling, stuff like that. And I'm not into that. I do some on my own, but if I were to add that, and then we were talking, I was on with Craftable Things. Well, I wasn't on with her, but I was watching her live. And it was funny. She asked, what do you not do? And I'm like, there's still a lot I don't do. Like she does the glow forge, the
Yes.
laser. And back in April, when I had the opportunity to invest in something, I had a choice. It was DTF or it was the laser. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, more people were trending towards the glow forge. I chose to go the other direction just to see if this was the answer to what I needed it to be in doing shirts, and it was. I'm very happy with my choice. Um, but that's a whole nother avenue I don't do either. So there's still a lot out there. There's still a lot out there.
Well, girl, one thing I learned, we have to pick our poison. You get into because there's so much stuff out there, so many things to do and
Hmm.
cover, girl. You got to pick your poison because once you get started and you get grabbed two or three things,
Right.
it's just so exciting and it looks so fun.
It does. It does. The best uni has me wanting to get into resin. And I've wanted to get into resin before. As a matter of fact, I have some molds. I have domino molds and I have a chessboard mold. But I mean, I can't get into anything else. I want to, but it's too much. It's just too much. I'll barely have time for myself, let alone trying to do all of that. But I
Oh
really
my
would like to
God.
try a little bit of resin, but not really get into it. So
Yeah, don't you worry. Before the show's over with, we gonna do what we gonna make sure we get you some resin over there. At least so you can have something. You can at least have something to play with when you have a
I don't
little
even know what I'm
downtime.
doing with it. So it would help. I'd have to look. I'd have to get in with the best uni and have her show me what to do. That's funny.
Ooh, now I bet now that is one video or one live I would pay to see.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll have to set that up.
yeah. You let me know, girl, and I'm gonna charge 19.90.
Hilarious. Look, she ain't gonna go for that. We'll let her sell the tickets.
Yeah,
We'll
So
let her sell them.
before we get started, I do love to let the people know out there how they can reach you, how they can follow, excuse me, how they can find, how they can get a hold of you before we get too deep into the rabbit's hole.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm on YouTube under the baby's booty. And then we also have Facebook. I have a Facebook business page as well as a Facebook group, which is the Hoop group. Because due to the embroidery hoops that we use, so the Hoop group. Um, Instagram under the baby's booty, Twitter under the baby's booty, and I'm just now getting into the TikTok world.
Yeah.
I've had a TikTok account for a while, but I was just, I'm 45, so it's just like, do I really want to learn TikTok? That's for the young folks. But the crafting world has taken TikTok by storm, so I kind of slept on that, but it's all right. So we're on TikTok under the baby's booty as well.
And if YouTube isn't enough of a job,
Right, right, right.
yeah,
Exactly.
YouTube keeps you busy.
Yes, it
So before
does.
we get, yeah, exactly. Before we get started, let's see who we have in the room. I see that there is a lot of people wanting to say hi to Miss Eve. We have Miss Deborah Tucker. She says, "Hey, uh, we all love Miss Tyron. How you doing this afternoon?" We have Miss Carmen Alvarado, and
Hey, y'all.
definitely want to give a shout out to Late Night Crafting, Miss Stacy. Appreciate you for tuning in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Miss Debbie D. She says,
Debbie
"Hi
D.
E."
That's Miss Debbie D.
How you doing, Miss Erica Chamberlain? She says, "Hi E."
Welcome.
There we have JD from JD's Corner. Thank you for tuning in. He says, "Hi E."
Hey, JD. How
And
are you?
and we have Miss Charmaine. How you doing? And Miss Eve.
Hey, Charmaine.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Now, um, now I guess my next, so we can before we get into the rabbit's hole. Let's see, let's see. Where would you like to start off? You want to start off in the beginning, or
It's entirely up to you. I don't mind the beginning. The beginning is an awesome story as well. I was trying to find. Um, it took me a minute to pull it up, but because we started on YouTube in 2016, so yeah, that's definitely the beginning.
so?
So if you want to
Okay,
start there, that's fine.
yeah, girl, this is late night crafting, girl. This is like your show. We just sitting back riding.
So we gonna chill out and talk about some of everything. That works. That works.
So tell us,
But
how did you start craft? I'm sorry.
you're fine. No, you're fine. Interestingly enough, I come from a line of entrepreneurs. My grandfather was an entrepreneur, my dad as well. So I've always wanted to have my own business, but I could never find a niche. But fast forward to 2016-ish. Ironically, it started with a Black Friday deal.
Wow.
Walmart had a sale on a little embroidery machine, and I don't know what made me. Oh, because I used to sew. I love to sew. I'm not very good at it. Not with. I don't sew clothing, but like window treatments and pillows and stuff like that. I could sew straight lines basically. But I decided to try an embroidery machine. I was like, why not? And I went and got it, and it sat for 6 months before I worked up the nerve to even try it. Then I opened it, tried it, didn't read any directions, didn't look at any videos, and tried to embroider with it. Didn't know anything about stabilizer, and it was a fail. So it made me
Oh,
mad. I packed it back up, and it sat for another 6 months until one day my husband was like, "Okay, you're gonna have to do something with this." And so I was like, "You know what? Okay, fine." So I sat down and started to try to find some instructions because I'm a visual learner. I reading the directions wasn't getting it. So I went on YouTube to try and find some videos and couldn't find very many at all. The few videos back then that I did find were sparse. They weren't very detailed. And when I did find someone who was willing to go into more detail, they were charging extremely high prices to take their classes and learn, which I get. I totally understand that. That's not an issue. But for me at the time, just starting out with an embroidery machine that was 200, and I think I paid 275 for it at Walmart. It was on Black Friday sale. So, I couldn't see paying $150 for classes for a machine that I just paid, right at 300 for. My budget was not like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I was just kind of frustrated. And when I asked questions in certain groups, in the beginning, there was very little response back. And I just kind of felt like, you know what, if you're going to be against me, then I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to teach people whenever I figure it out. And so that's pretty much what that boiled down. Once I started getting into it and I understood it, like one of the hangups was with embroidery in particular. You need software, to run the embroidery machine the way you want to. And the software programs out there were $300, $400, $500, $1,000. And I was like, bro, I don't have that kind of pockets either. And I just so happened, I was like, forget it, affordable embroidery programs. And I came across one called Sew It Pro. And I fell in love with the program, learned it, and reached out to them and asked them, could I sell it? And they said that I could, which was a miracle. But I started teaching it, and started teaching people how to use the program. And one of my favorite stories is this elderly lady out of Alabama. She said she was 74, 75 years old. I forget how old she was. Somewhere up there. And she was like, I want to learn how to use this program. I just need to put a name on such and such. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I'll walk you through it by phone. And I'm like, okay, so do you see this on your program? You have it open. Do you see this? Yeah, I see it. And I said, okay, well, click beside it. There's another button that looks like this. I don't see it. And I'm like, bruh, okay, so you found that button, right? Yeah, the button's right there. Okay, well, right beside that button is this button, and it's green. You can click. I don't see it. And I was like, bruh, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to figure this out. So we tried like FaceTime type ordeal. That didn't work. Her signal was trash. My signal was trash. So finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna post it online and let you follow it. And ever since then, she would reach out. Hey, you got another video? Can I ask how to do this? And I would do videos. And that's how that ball got to rolling. I was like, you know what? I kind of like teaching people how to do stuff on YouTube. And so that's pretty much those two things kind of got me pushed into teaching because number one, the willingness to share information online was not there back then. And the
G14 classified.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm saying it's like it was G14 classified.
Well, pretty much. Because it was like, bro, this is not a secret society type club. Why are we treating it as such when, I'm just me. I'm not out here trying to take your business from you. I just want to learn how to use this machine so I can make these baby onesies. You know what I'm saying? So, because I wanted to make onesies for a friend. And anyway. Woo, don't get me started on that shit. But yeah, it was crazy. And so I said, well, I'm going to teach how to use this equipment. I'm going to teach how to use the software. I don't care what anybody says, and they can just be mad. And it was accepted better. The reception was way better than what I expected because I wasn't the only one that was out there frustrated,
Yeah.
And so that's how that got started, because the name The Baby's Booty was mainly from the business side, because at the time I was trying to sell baby bibs and baby burp cloths and onesies and stuff. But as time went on, it ended up I didn't want to lose the name because I've had that name here since my daughter she wasn't even 2. She had just turned 1. I've had that name as a potential business name. So even though it was suggested to me to get rid of that name because it's controversial, I decided to keep it. And so I kept it as the channel name, and it stuck. And so that's the Baby's Booty. That's how we started. That's
So
how we are.
so that was the name of like, your first business, the clothing business when you first got into. Okay, okay, and you know what? That was supposed to be the number one. How everybody was. How did you get that name?
Yeah, yeah. I wish if I can find it, it's on my Instagram. Ironically, it's crazy how that came up. And this is why I tell people, really think about what you choose to name your business and how you choose to represent your business, because it does make a difference and it is important. Because I've actually lost, like, there's one group that I wanted to showcase my work in, and they wouldn't do it because of my business name, and they were like, no, some people may be offended and blah, blah. And I said, well, okay, I get it. I'm not worried about it. But because it meant so much to me, I refuse to let it go. Even now, I refuse to let it go. So,
Yeah.
and I actually had a pretty big disagreement with my best friend, who also was my business advisor, because she felt like I needed to get rid of that business name. And I'm like, no, it means something to me, so I'm going to keep it. And I did. But as soon as I find the picture, I'll show you. It started out as actually the Baby's Booty, but then it changed a little bit. It's still the same, but it changed, and there was a reason for the change. So, but yeah, it's she's 22. She's 22.
Uh-huh.
So that name came about 21 years ago. Here it is.
Wow.
So here is the picture of my daughter. Whoops.
Uh oh.
I just closed it. This is the picture of my daughter in her little onesie looking out the window. And this
Oh.
picture, like, when I took that, see, back then we had film, right? There was no digital. So when
Yeah.
I got it developed, I was like, oh my God, it's so cute. Look at her little booty. It's the Baby's Booty. You know what I'm saying? So I kid you not, then I said I would name a business the Baby's Booty, because I thought that it just had a ring to it, And I never had a business that would fit that name. And then when I started doing embroidery and doing baby stuff, I was like, the Baby's Booty, it's perfect, it fits. But then I was like, well, you know what? I don't want people to think, negative. So how can I change this so that it's still the same name? It still means that much to me, but I can also project it a different way. And so I started going online looking for a pirate ducky, rubber ducky. And I found, even though this is not, him, he's up there. I found Sir
Oh.
McQuackins. And when I found this duck online, there's only one place I could find him in the world. And I ordered all they had so that nobody else could get the duck. And I'm like, it's a pirate's booty. It's a pirate duck. Pirates have booty, so the Baby's Booty. And baby's clothing, a baby treasure trove is the Baby's Booty. So that's kind of how I spun it to keep it super clean. You know what I'm saying? To those who may be naysayers, but at the end of the day, technically my daughter is the reason for the name.
Oh.
That's
And,
my daughter.
that bell is very iconic. They love the bell. They go berserk over that bell. I mean, they get in the comment section, and girl, they go
They
berserk.
love the bell. Yeah, yeah. Like I told you the other day, I really don't know. I don't remember when it started. I just remember one day, somebody was saying they got a new piece of equipment or whatever it was. And I was like, girl, we need to celebrate that, because it's a feat. Our equipment is expensive. That we
Yeah.
don't, none of our stuff is cheap. The Cricut isn't cheap. Silhouette isn't cheap. DTF isn't cheap. Rhinestones aren't cheap. Heat press darn sure ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? So it's an accomplishment to be able to save up or to afford a piece of equipment. So I'm like, we need to celebrate. And I didn't have anything around me except a bell. So I started ringing the bell, and it just took off from there. It was just it's natural. So that's what we do.
And that's what I always say. Hey, we work hard and we get these toys. So we want to feel accomplished for things we do. And girl, a new printer, heat press, that is something. We walk a little taller the next day at
Yes,
work. You
we
know what
do.
I mean?
Yes, we do. And family generally doesn't understand. They're like, okay, what is that? So to have someone to be excited with you, it's a lot of fun.
And that's why I love the crafting world, because somebody is there to
Mhm.
enjoy and understand, and they gonna be like, "You got the what?"
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is.
So
I'll feel
that is I think that is a wonderful thing, because like I say, everybody wants to be able to feel pride for what they do. You know what I mean? So, girl, that is an excellent, excellent, excellent idea, and like I said, I can't wait to figure out how to incorporate the bill that Miss E has sent me. I don't know how to act. I am just flattered.
I was getting ready to say if the post office had cooperated, you probably would have had it today, but they said that it'll be delivered Monday. And I was like, oh man.
Well,
So you'll have a bill soon. We look, and when you get your new printers, because you supposed to be getting some more and you can ring the bell.
Woo, girl, these printers. Oh, good Lord. Yes, yes, these printers. So, hold on. Now that we're speaking about printers,
Hmm.
so what do you think about DTF?
DTF for me was an answer to something I've wanted for a long time. So I thought, okay, first of all, vinyl, I do vinyl. I know how to do vinyl, but I hate to weed. Oh my gosh. There's certain things in the crafting industry that you're like, okay, I don't like that and I don't like that. But no, I hate to weed, man. It's annoying. For many different reasons, but I just understand I hate it. So when sublimation came around, I was like, yes, I don't have to weed anymore. And I don't have to layer vinyl. I don't have to worry about vinyl peeling. I can just make shirts, blah, blah. But the drawback was it has to be white and it has to be polyester, right? So people were complaining that they couldn't sublimate on a black shirt unless you did um easy weed, not easy weed. What is it? Easy
Like
subly
some,
type
yes.
stuff. But guess what? You gotta weed that too, technically. So it was just like, you know what? I can't win. So I've always been on the lookout for something that would fill that void. And the closest thing I was able to get to was DTG, direct to garment.
Mm.
So a direct to garment printer printed whatever you want, white ink included on cotton, blah 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 blah. But dag nabbit, $12,000 for a printer. And that's not necessarily including the what is it, pre-treat machine, and you got to pre-treat the shirts. And I was like, okay, there has to be something better. But at the time, white toner seemed to be the answer to prayers, right? And
Hmm.
so a friend of mine got a white toner printer, and I was super excited because I'm like, okay, this is finally it. But I had her print a design for me, and when she printed it, it had the holes in it. Half toning, I think is what they call it, where the design isn't a solid design. It has the holes in it to help save on ink and to help the shirt be able to still stretch.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was so upset because I'm like, why are these holes in my, design? My customer's gonna hate that. She was like, well, I mean, we gotta save on the ink. And then she told me how much that ink was. I was like, okay, see, this isn't the answer either.
Yes.
This isn't the answer
Mm.
either. So I kept looking, and then this year I can't even remember why I started looking up, but I started looking up direct to garment. And for whatever reason, earlier this year, it popped up direct to film. And I said, direct to film, what's that? And that's how I found out what direct to film was. And I was like, hallelujah, this is what I've been waiting for. This is it, because it stretches with the shirt. Whereas the white toner, you got to put the stupid holes in it and stuff. You don't have to, but the holes help make it where it doesn't feel plasticky, and it helps the shirt be able to stretch. Whereas with direct to film, the ink is more elastic than white toner. So it stretches with the shirt. You don't have to do the holes and stuff. The only drawback in my mind at the time was, oh my God, I gotta powder this and melt the powder. How does that, But once I got it here and started using it and learning the powdering and getting the hang of curing, I got curing down pat. Got powdering down pat, got a whole system, assembly line going. I love my DTF machine so
Oh,
much so
oh,
that we're going wide format. First chance I get, once I get this printer right, wide format, bro. 24 inches of beautiful glory. So I love DTF. I love DTF.
you know, I want to just come out but you know how it is, girl. When you sell it, everything is great, everything is wonderful. So I tell people, I let everybody do it for me, because
Yeah.
it's a
And again, it's not necessarily for everybody,
exactly.
because there are some learning curves that I was forced to learn in order to make it successful. And then there's also, even though a friend of mine named Big Boi is supposed to help me solve this problem, but there's also the issue with inks separating and clogging. So I have, just to let you know, in case it was something you wanted to do, I have the box. I did open it because I'm nosy like that. I couldn't do an unboxing. It just wasn't right. So, but they're still in the box. I have the box set up. I have the camera set up. Even though I don't know how to change it on here, I'll have to figure that out. And what I need to do is take the ink out, especially the white ink, because that's my pet peeve. So we had time. If we have time, we can take the white ink out and then put the white ink in, show how that works, and then do a test print while we're on the show, if you would like to, with the Big Boi inks that I have now.
uh,
So
I tell you, the big boy says it all the time. I ain't never too good for a shameless plug.
no, and I'm very impressed because the bottle's been sitting there, and like you said, it's not separated yet, and it's been sitting there
Man,
since I opened the box and looked at it when it got here. So
you know, and I tell people, I say, the big boy, we believe in quality. I'm only going to tell you something that I use, and especially getting into YouTube as heavy as I am, I'm not able to print every day like I want to. But
right,
you, I prefer to use just the best of the best, and I want to give it to you the best of the best. And I'm not gonna just stand up here and lie. I don't have a problem. It'll sit in there 3 4 days, and it'll
wow.
just I run ahead clean, and I go get them, girl,
Fine.
and
See,
make
I promise
you
you, out of everything with DTF, that is the biggest drawback of all, is the white ink. It's common. It's a common problem, not just in direct to film, but it's a common problem in direct to garment as well. So it's not like a secret, that people are like, shh, don't talk about that. No, it's widely known. So for you to, offer a solution that I'm more than positive, based on your experience, that it will work. I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely excited too because I definitely want you to give an update. Definitely let it be let it be known because hey, like I say, if I say it, I'm supposed to say it. It's my product.
Right, 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 right. Exactly. It's your product. You're going to support it. But to have someone who is actually going to put it in real world use and say, hey, this is legit. I mean, like I said, for now, I see it hasn't separated, whereas my other ink does. So
Yeah, we don't
far,
believe.
check. So far, you know what I'm saying? Now we ain't printed nothing yet, and we ain't powdered done yet. But if it's performed this well so far, I'm only expecting great things from this point forward.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I have one question. I love this, and I have just not had an opportunity. Like I say, we all have so much stuff going on. Girl,
Hmm.
can you please tell me about this rhinestone? Because it looks so amazing.
Oh, I wish I had known you were going to ask about that. I would have gotten something. The best thing I have are some keychains down here, but I do rhinestones. And there's a couple of different ways rhinestones can be done. They can be heat pressed on, or they can be glued on. And the difference between the two is heat press is generally when you have a fabric. So tennis shoes, hats, shirts, canvas bags, book bags. Even these keychains down here are canvas straps. So because it's a fabric, you would heat press it on. But tumblers like cups, um, let's see what else, cups, anything hard that you would want to rhinestone. I saw somebody rhinestone a car. So the hard surfaces is used with glue. So like, even though I don't prefer E6000, some people use E6000. But like here is a key fob, you know,
Oh, wow.
the
Oh,
keychain
wow.
strap. This is all heat pressed on, and these are rhinestones that just. And I wish you could, like, back here you really can see the bling a lot better than super up close, but rhinestones are life. I love rhinestones. It's one of my favorite things to do as well. It's just the bling is insane when you find a really good rhinestone, and you can make all kind of cool stuff with it. There's some
Girl,
learning curve for that too, though.
I live in Dallas and down south, girl. We love the big is
Guys,
better. Yeah,
you know
girl, the
what's
popping.
funny?
Yes, ma'am.
What's funny? You're Dallas, right? Dallas Cowboy fan. They are some of the biggest customers for rhinestones. The
Hold
women,
on.
they love. I'm a Cowboys girl or cowgirl or blah blah. Man, put it in as many rhinestones as I can fit on a shirt. They love it. They love it. And so I'm not mad. Shoot, boo, go ahead, do you. I'll be more than happy to help you bling your life away, girl. No shame in this game. So, but there's a learning curve to it, and there's a method to be able to get it done. But once you learn the method, it's pretty easy to do.
Excellent, excellent. Let's check a couple of these comments right quick because I have this next question is I think you're gonna love it. We're gonna go to a totally different section of crafting that I know. Girl, we could be here for a couple of hours, and I'm just gonna
That's
sit
fine.
back and just. I got the big paper so I can take notes.
That's fine.
See the.
That's
So
fine.
we have Miss Kristen Smith.
Hey,
She says
Kristen,
hello, E.
how are
Oh
you?
God. Oh Lord. And we have Miss Sketches to Design.
Hey, Sketches to Design. I love your name. Cute. We got all kind of
Definitely
stuff we
one.
can do with sketches.
Exactly.
Hey, Nicole.
Definitely. Oh, and we have the one, the only, the great, the best unit. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Hey, girl.
Love. Okay. Oh, I think we have Charmaine. Um, oh yeah, like she was telling about she loves when you ring the bell for the girl. That
That bit
is a
was
thing.
fun.
I'm telling you.
The
We
bell
have
is
an
fun.
Alicia.
Hey, how are you?
How you
55.
doing?
Yo. Ooh,
Yes,
like
yes,
that
yes.
name.
How you doing? 55, love some 55. Girl, you bring out everybody I see, girl. You bring everybody unbiased LLC. Thank you for tuning
Nice.
in. Fancy Boo Creations.
Ooh, fancy boo. I like that too. It's cute.
And we have
Craft
another.
Brooklyn.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Guys, have fun
I
tonight.
got,
That was fun.
oh God, oh, love Miss Craftable thing. She is so nice. She is so sweet. And the best uni again, love. So let's see who else. Make sure we didn't. What about how you doing, Jose? Low praise. Is that
Cartel print.
uh Quartel printer? Okay,
Nice.
okay. There's so many. Oh, girl, you bring out all the stars. JD's
You
corner.
got stars, bro. You got stars. Trust me,
We
the
have a
best uni, one of the main ones, you need to check out Big Boy Prince. And I'm like, I've seen Big Boy Prince. He's been in the chat before. That's what's up. I love it. I love y'all have a nice, you support each other. I love that. That's amazing. That's
yes,
amazing.
yes. I love the best unit. Like I say, I was down there and she see me out the slums and she came was like, come here, big boy. And so I appreciate her and I love her because like I say, it's so many people when they make it up there, they forget about hey, look at you down
Mm-hmm.
there. And I tell people, hey man, I appreciate it because like I say, when we first get in, like I say, we definitely want to help. And there's like I said, a certain way of going around by doing things. And I appreciate everybody that tuning in that makes us who we are.
Right.
All right. You get a couple of more. Thank you, Mac the Goon. Appreciate you tuning in. Okay. I guess Miss Siren has a quick question for you. She says she worked with the bling wrap and rhinestones. What do you recommend if you don't like E6000? Is what I use or a hot glue.
Hot glue will not work. Hot glue is going to peel off. So one of the main things I use is let me see if I have it right here. So there's a couple of options depending upon what you want to do. How you leaving? Sorry, my daughter. This was the baby's booty, but she's grown now. I'm live on somebody else's show, so don't be too
Hey,
crazy.
baby's booty. No.
Gym Tack is one. Gym Tack is a really good one. So that's a good one, especially this one, especially for like shoes. Really good stuff. The other one is, gosh, I'm trying to see where that container of glue is. I have to think of Fusion Tack. Let me see if I have it right here because I just used it not that long ago and I move stuff when I use it. But Gym Tack is definitely a good one, and the other is a gray, super tight. That's what it's called. Here's one. They have a couple of versions of it, but this is one version. This is super tight. It's a Fusion Tack adhesive. This one looks more like Elmer's glue, like the Gym Tack, but they have another one that looks like the E6000, but it doesn't have that smell. So the Super Tight has a version that's good for doing the bling cups and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. Now, because I like to we get a good question out the way. Like to try to save most stuff for last, because girl, they will go and go and go. No. So,
I don't mind.
girl, let's get to the embroidery stage. I am big on helping my people make money, girl. What is it the big boy can do? So as I was strolling with the vast videos, girl, you have a huge selection, girl. We thank you for all the help and the service. Got to give you your roses down, girl, because I'm sure you have helped so many and still are, still will. That's one thing I love about YouTube. We can always go and you have so much content, girl. We appreciate you. But one of the
Thank you.
videos that stuck out, how do you get in the embroidery business for $2.99 for less than $300?
Oh gosh. For that, it was you would need to find a embroidery machine that's affordable first and foremost. And the way I found my machine, one of my actually, hold on, two of my machines I found for $200 on OfferUp. At the time, it was OfferUp. Facebook Marketplace didn't exist. So if you go onto Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp or someplace like that, there are a lot of people out there who either start to get into embroidery, don't really look into it too hard, or just don't feel it and they want to get out of it. They just want to get rid of the machine. So you have those folks that are selling dirt cheap just to get rid of it. The second type of person is someone who buys the embroidery machine. They love doing the embroidery, but they outgrow the machine. And so they're trying to sell that one so that they can upgrade to the next one. Okay. So you can easily find the little 4x4 embroidery machine on OfferUp or Craigslist or something like that for about $250. And then to buy some of the supplies off of Amazon, like stabilizer and or thread, is not super expensive. That's the good thing. A lot of the supplies we have, like thread and stabilizers, isn't super expensive. Where you start getting into a lot of the high cost for embroidery would be in the equipment or the parts to the machine. So like the different hoops that are available aftermarket is kind of pricey. Or the supporting things like the stands to help you hoop your things, those can be pricey. But aside from that, embroidery isn't super expensive to get into once you get, past the cost of the machine. So that's where the majority of your cost is going to come from in purchasing the equipment. So if you buy used secondhand, a lot of times you'll get a pretty good machine and you can get into it.
Do you recommend buying used, or do you what is your preference?
For me, I don't really have a preference either way per se, because the good thing about our equipment is it holds its value for the most part. Now, there is some differences, like if you're going for instance, I have two different machines back there. You can kind of sort of see the second one. This one is a 15 needle machine. It's an industrial machine. It's red line. And then this one is a 6 needle embroidery machine. And this one is by Brother Embroidery Machines. So interestingly enough, this machine was $8,000 roughly for 15 needles, and it's industrial, and it comes with twice the attachments. Whereas that machine by Brother was $8,000. It's only 6 needles, and it only comes with one set of attachments. And then to do hats on that machine is kind of the struggle, whereas this one eats hats for dinner. So it's like you have to look at everything that's there. This machine, you're buying a name, so to speak.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you're buying a piece of equipment that's going to serve you in a business very well. So if you go used with either one, with those pieces of equipment, a lot of it is the maintenance. How has it been maintained? Multi needles are not super difficult to break, but you do have to be abusive to break an embroidery machine for the most part. The
So
little
let's
home
see.
embroidery machines, it's kind of hard to break them. They run like little champs. They really do. So I would definitely look for one of those used, and not miss a beat, not blink. Somebody says, "Hey, I got," as long as the value is great and fits my budget, I'd buy it. But these, I'd be a little more cautious. I'd like to know, okay, how long have you had it? Why are you selling it? How many stitches are on it, because each machine has a count of how many stitches is in the machine and how long it's been used. Kind of like a car, mileage on a car. So that
Okay.
type stuff.
Is there a certain count number you look for,
No,
or
Jesus, no. It's funny because with the 6 needle machine, I had it for right at about a year and went to go take it in to be serviced. And I told the guy, I was like, I called him first to schedule to have it serviced. And I was like, well, it's at, I think at the time I was like, it's at 400,000 stitches. And I know that's a whole lot. And he laughed at me, like right there, legit on the phone, was like, ha, that's not a lot of stitches. And I'm like, well, dang, you ain't have to laugh at me like that, but when you constantly do, say for instance, shirts and designs and stuff, the average stitch count for those usually about 15 to 20,000 for simple left chest shirts. So 15 to 20,000 adds up real quick over a 60 shirt order. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at a stitch count for machines like that, 2-3 million really isn't a whole lot of stitches on those machines.
Wow. So you definitely get your money out of these machines.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's for certain. If in my opinion, I darn sure am more close to saying you get more value out of the embroidery machine than any of the other equipment I have in the studio. And that's
Oh
because
wow.
when you say embroidery, people usually think, oh, that's about as top notch as you can get. You know, it's known for quality.
Yes.
So, you go to buy a hoodie and a hoodie has screen print versus a hoodie with embroidery on it. That hoodie with embroidery is going to be twice as much every single time because it has embroidery in designer lines. So embroidery is significant with, a higher scale of things. And so you can charge a premium and make pretty darn good turnaround, off of a job.
And that's definitely what I had a friend that does well I know I had a friend that was telling me about a dude he has embroidery. And he say he has about 10 machines. He had them boys lined up and they just go to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's for
Is it,
certain.
it is it like I guess first off, let me ask you about the software. How's the software for embroidery?
The cool thing about that is most of the equipment, like for instance, the brother machines, they have very bare, simple programs kind of built into them where you can, kind of plug and play to a certain extent. So I can turn that machine on, it'll have fonts already in it that I can try and program and put a name on something. I have some designs that there are some designs preloaded on it type situation with that particular brand of equipment. Now, this one, because it's industrial, it doesn't come preloaded with designs and fonts and stuff. So you have to get that yourself. And you really need to be getting it with that machine over there as well. So software programs that are out there, there's quite a few, and a lot of it depends on what you want to do. So just your bare basic, I see a design over here that I want to buy and embroider myself and make sure that it's lined up and put my name up under it. I actually resell a software on my website that's called So What Pro, and it's $65. Now, at this moment, that's the only software program out there, full scale software program at that price point. The rest of the software programs are 300, 299, 300 and up, and that's
Wow.
basic, and then you can add on and the
Wow.
price goes up from there. So you don't really need something super fancy. As I mentioned, like if you went and got the 4x4 embroidery machine and wanted to just start doing some embroidery, you can do it without any software whatsoever. Um,
Wow.
you can go and buy designs from, say, Etsy, you know what I'm saying, and find a design that you like, bring it to the machine with the USB cord and stitch it out. You don't have to have software, but the software will help you see what you're about to stitch before you stitch it. Make sure that everything is lined up the way you want it to, and the software will help you add elements to it, like a name, for instance, or um, just or merge two different designs, whatever the case may be. So that's how the software is now. If, say, for instance, Big Boi decided he wanted to get into embroidery, but Big Boi wanted his logo to be embroidered, and he didn't want to pay somebody else to make his logo for him, right? So you have what's called digitizing software. So if you ever go and you want your logo on a hat and the person is like, okay, is your logo already digitized? That doesn't mean is your logo a picture, a digital picture. It just means is your logo already switched over to embroidery stitches. If it's not, then it has to be digitized. You can learn how to digitize yourself. You can. It's not super difficult, but it does take time, just like DTF. It takes time. And digitizing software is about $1,000. That's one of the least expensive ones out there. There are some a little bit cheaper, but not by very much. They're all pretty pricey. Now, So What Pro has a partner program that's $75. but it's not necessarily my favorite program to use, because that program, you could take your logo, bring it into that program, and it digitizes it automatically for you, instead of in the other programs, which are more expensive. You kind of control where the stitches go, you put the stitches down, that type of stuff. So it just depends on how deep into digitizing you want to go as far as software, but you don't have to digitize in order to do embroidery.
That was my next question because the digitize was something that I kept hearing a lot in the when I watched the videos. Now, can you pay somebody to digitize your image for you? Is
Yes, you
that a
can.
good route?
Yes. As a matter of fact, that's what I do. So I know how to digitize. I have excellent digitizing software that I paid out the butt for, but it takes time. It's like, for instance, in DTF, if you went out and bought a graphic that was already made, that's one thing. But if you wanted your Big Boy Prince logo to be printed out DTF, you can sit there and make that logo yourself, and make sure that it's vector, make sure that there's no transparent pixels or anything like that prior to doing it. But that takes time, right? So it
Yes.
takes time for you to make that logo. You can hire someone to make that logo for you and just pay them. So likewise, digitizing, yes, you can hire somebody to do it. And usually, if you hire someone to digitize for you, the price is affordable to where it's not going to break the bank for you to do that. Now, if you have a customer that wants something, like if you said, Eve, I want you to digitize my logo and put it on a hat for me, I'd be like, okay, bet. Well, my digitizer is charging me $20 to digitize your logo. $20, please, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then I'll stitch it on that for you. You know what I'm saying? I pass that cost on to my customers so that I'm not coming out of pocket upset. And then if need be, 6 months down the road, you're like, you know what? I found somebody local to stitch my hats for me. Can I have my logo? I'd be like, sure, you paid for it here. Not
Exactly.
all embroiderers are like that, but a lot of us are. We don't want to hold on to your stuff. We'll just, if you paid for it, I'm gonna give it to you.
And I tell them that ain't nothing personal. This is strictly business.
Right, right, right. Good business,
Yeah.
but it's business.
So, I know you told us your machine. If there was somebody coming to you that wanted to start pretty much on a budget, I know you said marketplace, but what if they wanted something new? What would you advise? Where would you tell them to go to look for? And then, like I said, we already the marketplace. Where would you advise them to go to grab a machine?
It depends. So if you're just starting out, a lot of it depends on your budget. So if you're just starting out and you have a very modest budget, so no more than $500, then I would say Walmart. Because the little embroidery machine that's at Walmart is a 4x4 machine, which is enough to do quite a few tasks with that machine. Like, you can do a lot of shirts, left chest logo type, polo shirt type situations with that without too many issues. And like I said, that one's right at about 350, 400 now. So that leaves you enough pocket change to buy some stabilizer, buy some thread, even though it comes with thread and some stabilizer, but not a whole lot. If you have a little bit more to your budget, say about $1,200, I would say check online. There's a couple of embroidery machine resellers that, like, Amazon actually has a pretty decent price range going on right now for, I think, it's about $900 for a 5x7, which is just a little bit bigger than the one that's at Walmart. Also, there are some brother machine dealers in different states, like Texas, I know, has one. You can go there. Sometimes they even carry the smaller machines, the smaller home machines, but they're going to try to sell you on the larger machine. That's just the way that works. Now, if you want to get into multi-needle, a lot of that, again, depends on your budget and what you want out of an embroidery machine. But this one has been a blessing to me, and it's been a hard worker, very industrial. which there's a lot of reasons why I'm saying industrial. If you're going to start a business doing embroidery, you really need to go more industrial than more like commercial, which is kind of what the other one is. So in our terms, instead of me getting, the little home machine, my L1800, which technically is not a business machine, it's more of a small scale machine. They do have some mid range DTF printers, but then they got the big boys that have the roll feeder that roll over through the next one and got the shaker and shake the powder and bake it and the whole nine and roll it up. So all you got to do is slice them up, put them in envelopes, and mail them out. Okay, well that's pretty
Oh
much
my
what you're
God.
dealing with industrial embroidery machine. You can stitch all day, every day, non-stop with that thing, and it will not flinch. It's a powerhouse of an embroidery machine, and the price point on that is amazing. So I would send people to Redline only because their customer service is top notch, or has proven to
Oh,
be top notch for me. Now with industrial equipment, just like industrial equipment with the DTF, you may have to work on some stuff yourself, but they walk you through it in English and help you understand, or Spanish. And they'll, make sure you're right and all your parts are fixed, because it comes with a toolbox with extra parts in it too, to make sure that you stay up and running as quickly as possible anyways. um but Redline is pretty good price point wise, the value of what you get in a machine for the money that you're kicking out. So I send people to Redline in our group. I just tell them there's no special code or nothing. You give them a call, say, hey, I was thinking about a Redline embroidery machine. The baby's booty sent us over, and they'll give an extra set of hoops with the machine because we sent them. And I absolutely
oh,
hmm yeah, I asked them to cut a deal for the viewers that would call, because I mean, why not? We sending people to you, do something nice for them. So
exactly, exactly. Okay. Let me ask you. One thing I am curious about. Um, I say a lot of the seasoned veterans, they say a lot of them are kind of stuck in their, they got their sublimation, they have their vinyl, and they stick with that. A lot of, you know, they don't like change. Why do you feel it was important for you to change, to evolve, to stay relevant?
um for me, I love to craft. So there's very few things out there that I'm not interested in and want to learn how to do. Crafting is therapeutic for me. I had some pretty tragic situations and deal with PTSD. So as much as I can get to keep me, entertained and focused, not on problems or whatever, but on my crafting, whatever it is that I'm doing, and getting that joy out of making something is just top notch, right? So um, whenever I hear or learn of something else that's out there, usually I'm curious and want to learn more about it and how it works and how I can do something fun with it. So it started out as a business, but it ended up being, I love doing this, so I want to teach you how to do it. I don't have tons of orders, that pour in. I have, at this point, I've cut it down to, I probably have maybe about five really good regular customers for embroidery and some vinyl, but I kind of cut everybody loose because I wanted to focus more on teaching. So I go to learn something just so that I can teach it, because I think it's fun and I want to share that fun with other people. So that's pretty much how that boils for me. Um, but I just like learning different things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. One thing I love about DTF, it's just easy.
It is
It's
so
just
It's so easy. It is just so easy. It's almost too easy in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, this can't be. There has to be more to it, and technically there is more to it. But if you know graphics, which I didn't, so that's why I went like super super easy in the beginning. But if you know graphics already, it's easy to do. It's really easy to do.
Um, but before we go to the next subject, before we check in with the people, oh God, hold on one second, I almost go. When you when you first started, like I say, when you went to YouTube and there wasn't that much information out,
Mhm.
um, especially for I guess I'm saying maybe I can say for like us women out there, and was it hard to um get it when you got into YouTube? Was it hard for you to get known, to push yourself, or was it just straight? Like, because I know, like a lot of us, we do it straight for the to help people, but then
Mhm.
eventually you're like, oh well, since I'm doing. Was it hard for you to put yourself out there with like other people out there? Was it like one thing I noticed when I first started with YouTube? It was hard for me to find people like us. You had to scroll down a couple of so and I know you've been in the business for a while. Was it hard for you breaking into the industry? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
For me, I'm going to say it initially, yes. Initially, yes, it was. And that's because I didn't understand exactly how YouTube worked, the algorithm, what you needed to do, how you needed to get put out there, that whole thing. So when I first started and was getting like 200-300 followers or whatever, which I was still shocked off of that. I really was. I didn't expect that. um I was like, how do I get in front of more people? What do I need to do? And so I found a couple of, what I did was search on YouTube for how to be better on YouTube, so to speak. And I found a couple of YouTubers out there who that's what their sole mission was to teach people how to grow on YouTube. And I
Okay.
followed a lot of their suggestions. I worked on my thumbnails, worked on my titling, worked on my tags, worked on the structure of the video. And pretty much aside from that, the biggest advice that I would give to people, as far as trying to natively grow on YouTube, meaning that you're just going to grow naturally anyway, is be yourself. Is be
Yeah.
yourself. Because when you get on YouTube and you're trying to be somebody, or you're getting on YouTube because you want to make money, you want to go viral, you want to, then you're going to end up disappointed. It's not going to pan out like you want. And you're going to like go live, for instance, and when you look down and you only got 8 people in there, and you sitting there looking sad because you only have 8 people. No, bro, you need to sell it like you got a whole room of 1,000 people in there, because you didn't have to have 8. You know what I'm saying? Nobody could have tuned into you. So if you take the time and just be yourself and do this because you love it, then the numbers won't matter. Numbers, I don't care about the numbers. People are like, you got this, that, and that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, bro, but that person has that, that, and that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I tripped out. I was doing live month or so ago. And I'm reading my chat and talking to people and going on, and one name came up in my chat, and the name looked different. It wasn't like a person who was a member of my channel, but the name was like in blue. And I'm like, bruh, who the heck? And I looked and I recognized the name. It was a YouTuber. Ironically enough, I saw this person's videos before, but my husband loves those videos. And I'm like, bruh, what's up? Thanks for joining my channel. This person has over 100,000 subscribers. So, for
Wow.
me to walk around like, oh, I'm this big bad, I'm not like that, bro. Because whatever, it in a second, it can all be gone in a second.
Exactly.
So I don't care. I can stay right where I am right now, and I'll be all right. It's not gonna hurt my feelings in the least little bit. Because I know I'm not for everybody. I talk too much, but at the end of the day, you have to do this because you love doing it, because it will burn you out. I'm telling you this, actually, it will burn you out. There's gonna come some days you be like, I just can't. I'm not feeling it. And you know what? That's okay. Take a break, walk away, take some days off or whatever, and then come back when you feeling it, because this is a job. It's not a job. It's a job, fun or not. This is your employer, and the folks watching you are the ones that's helping push you along. So when you get, a group of folks behind you, it's a really good feeling, and you don't want to disappoint them. And they really look out for you. Best Uni, man, that's your cheerleader, bro. She makes sure folk come and see. She makes sure folk come see Big Boi. But at the same time, she has folks that are behind her 100% as well. So that's the way it should be. If you got love, then show love back. Because that's the way the world works. It's like karma. What you do to people will come back to you.
Amen. Amen. And then, you can tell people, especially people like the best unit, just especially with E, genuine, do it for the love, just
So genuine. So genuine. It's rare to find that these days. Usually folks have a hidden agenda. They have, for whatever reason. Not with her. Not with her. And I love that. I love that.
yes, we got, man. We love the best unit, and there ain't nothing that she won't do. All you gotta do is call and ask. Just watch it. Don't
Yeah.
just make sure you, because the best
Yeah.
unit don't play.
Right. I mean, but that's, again, you treat people the way you want to be treated. So don't go with no games or no drama. For what? You go what you need to say, do what you need to do, and if she like it, she like it. If she don't, she don't, and then you keep stepping. But be respectful, regardless of what you got going on. As long as you can be respectful with people, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And she seems to. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in her life last week. Man, I had a ball. That thing was funny. I was crying for hours afterwards. I even told my husband, I was like, bruh, that was fun. That was fun. It was, one of those situations where, like you said, tonight we just lie, we just chilling and blah, blah. Man, it was like, bruh, just grab a drink, chill all the way out. And the conversation was hilarious. I had a ball. That was funny. That was funny. I enjoyed myself.
When the best unit go live, I tell them, hold on, y'all, cut the TV out. We finna just sit
Right.
her, and we finna laugh. She is finna go down through there. I promise you.
Yeah, it was funny. I enjoyed myself.
We definitely. Oh, just before we go, if y'all is not subscribed to the Best Unit channel, make sure y'all go over there, hit that like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, cousin, uncle, auntie, side chick, all that. They should let everybody.
Not the side chick.
And hold on, while we over there subscribing, make sure you go over there and check out the baby's booty and subscribe. Please let them know when it is that you go live, and let them know how they can reach you, because I think we have another hour that has passed. So please let everybody know how they can reach you and when you do go live.
Normally, I go live on Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have quite a few folks from Texas that join us on a weekly basis. So I try to make it fair for both coasts. Thank you. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8 you guys' time. And then, of course, California would be 7. But at any rate, we're on for about 2 hours on Sunday. And then I throw on not regular, but I throw on videos here and there. I used to post regularly, but I've had to back away from, and live life for a change instead of editing videos all the time. But at any rate, we're also on Facebook, The Baby's Booty. Again, I have a business page. There's also a group on Facebook. If you would like to join, you can ask questions about crafts and crafting and things like that. And anyone experienced in the group, this is a very helpful group. They look out for each other. They answer questions. You know, and if somebody doesn't get to the question before I do, I'll answer the questions. You know what I'm saying? If I have the answer, I'll find the answer. And then we're on Twitter, Instagram, and just now breaking into the I even have Snapchat now I think about it, but we're also trying to break into Twitter. Not Twitter,
TikTok.
the other T.
And you know
Oh
what?
my god.
I love TikTok because to me, TikTok is I think it's for grown folks. Grown folks get to go on there and act like we just whatever we want to do, we can go on there, we can play, we can have a good time. Girl, it is
That's a
just
good thing and a
like
bad thing though. So for a prude like me, sometimes it's a bit too much. But craft wise, yes, there's some gorgeous stuff out there. And a lot of instruction is out there showing people what you actually can do if you take the time to learn.
exactly. And it is just so it is just so amazing. I love this social media because it lets people get at and get you can express yourself. You can because people are so creative. You just watch see things that they done. It is good. It is crazy. So it's a fancy blue creation say is crystal glue pen any good?
That's why I was looking up crystal blue pen, trying to make sure I'm understanding what you're asking about. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Crystal blue pen Michaels. Let me see if this is it then. Okay, so with that one, I would I would as it I kind of figured that's what it was. It says embellish your fabric and craft projects. It's perfect to stick your flat back crystals on your bracelets, jackets, and totes. Bracelets probably not so much unless it's like a leather and even then I'd be cautious with leather. Probably more like the fabric type stuff. You probably could use that with those. But with bracelets and the harder stuff, like I said, super tight is what I would suggest to use. And you can get super tight off of Amazon if need be. But my rhinestone designer, rhinestone supplier is a company called Be Createful, and they sell most of the rhinestone supplies that you would need. So Be Createful, and it's just like it sounds when you create something, be create and then add ful on the end.com. And she has all of the supplies that you would even need. But let's see, adhesive glue. Let me make sure I'm telling you. Yeah, it is super tight. So super tight. They have 1, 2, 3 different types. One is this bottle, and the other super tight looks almost just like a glue of E6000, but it says super tight. That one is hands down my favorite. That's what I did. Let me show you one I did by hand. Oh, here's some super tight right here. Found it. There's super tight. See how it looks like E6000 in a way? I mean, the color is different, but it's a tube like E6000.
Do you
So,
prefer the E6000?
so notice how they got the picture of the car. That's not a car. Sorry, that's actually jeans. My bad. I thought that was a car. Looking from this direction. But anyways, this will work on fabric and hard surfaces. And like this is a volleyball I started blinging.
Oh wow.
So the goal, now I started this some months ago, but I stopped because I mean, when you glue like baby shoes or Chuck Taylors for a wedding or not jean jackets, because jean jackets you can do hot fix, which make a template for it. But stuff like this where there's no template, you're hand placing each crystal. So each one of these
Oh
crystals
wow.
on this ball, I put on by hand. Not by hand necessarily, but like with the pick up the stone and put it on, but with the glue. Okay, so this is one way of doing rhinestones, but then you also have easier ways like this hard drive, or not hard drive, power bank that I did bling, but this is a sheet, adhesive sheet. So all I had to do was peel it off like a sticker and stick it on. So there's some options out
Wow.
there for doing rhinestones that's not as difficult. But when you're wanting to do like I have a shirt with the YouTube logo on it, and this is the rhinestone template that I use to make
Oh,
my YouTube shirt. So I just brush the clear stones in here, and then I use transfer tape to pick up the stones, lay it on the shirt, press it on the heat press, and it's in the shape that I need it to be without having to hand press each stone. So with hot fix, meaning that you fix it on hot with heat, that's in a way a little bit easier because you can buy designs already made and just go ahead and press them. Whereas with stuff like the volleyball or Starbucks cups, you got to sit there and place each one of them stones by hand, and it takes time
ooh.
because this is for a cousin. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. They have to pay out the butt. But I've seen Big Boi. I promise you, go online and do a Google search for rhinestone basketball.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's great because of course you can't play basketball with it, but it is
No.
beautiful. So I was like, I have a cousin that is really good with volleyball, and she went to college on a scholarship, so I was gonna make her a ball one day. I get it done one day. That's a lot of stones. That's a lot of, I mean, you kind of gotta have, a good TV show going or some good music in your headphones, and you just sit there and just bling, and it can be relaxing. It can. So I'm not gonna knock that at all. It's just I'm into so much that I took for granted that it wouldn't take as long as it's being already taken.
With our schedules, girl, sitting down that long that would be a miracle.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wish I could. If I could reach the Starbucks cup I did, I'd get that down and show it to you. But it's a little high up. I don't know that I could reach it. But that took 3 days to do the Starbucks cup.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
I bet it is beautiful. About
It
three
is
days.
pretty.
Oh my
It is
god.
pretty, if I should say so myself. All the time it took to put that darn cup together, man. And I refuse to drink out of it too. That's what's crazy.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah, it's
no.
just for
That's a
looks. Just for
showpiece.
looks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's check some of these comments right quick. Want to thank Miss Catherine Davis for tuning in.
Good evening.
We have A to Z Crafty Shop. Thank you for tuning in. Oh well, we have a question from Jose Lopez. He said, "Big boy, have you done a test of DTF and how many washes it holds?"
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have done several tests. I'm not gonna say I've went in there and just watched it 35 times, but I have went in there. I where I haven't had any problems. Um, Miss Eva, have you had any problems? Have you done any wash tests on your DTF, and how did that come
I
out?
have.
Have you had it?
I have. Because my son and I created our own clothing line. So we have been washing our, because we are wear our logos and such. And I haven't had any issues, just like with the rhinestones, because a lot of times people ask about the wearability of that. And like I tell anybody, my husband does the laundry. So he, me, well, I shouldn't give a blanket statement, but he kind of, could care less whether the dryer is on high heat or low heat or, whatever. So he just washes clothes and high heat and all, no issues, no rhinestones coming off. My DTF still looks great. I wish I had worn my shirt or brought my shirt, but the DTF is held up and it looks fantabulous. I absolutely love it.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, thank you. And I tell them all day long, the proof is in the pudding. The proof
Oh
is
yeah.
in the pudding.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Hey
we,
Marcella's way.
yeah, girl, we thank Marcella. I do apologize. I haven't had a chance to get up. Girl, we kicked it last night, all night long. Girl, we kicked it like we was 16 or something. I think we both limped to the bed last night. There we
That
go.
was
We definitely have Miss Tyron again. How you doing, Miss Deborah Tucker? Thank you for tuning in. And we have Miss is that Mataris Washington? Girl, you got to, y'all have to excuse me after about 9 o'clock. My reading and especially the names. I'm like the best unit. I will butcher it in a minute and
That's funny.
apologize later.
He said Etsy is awesome. Etsy is awesome. There's a lot of really good resources on Etsy, even for DTF and embroidery, actually. Rhinestones too, because you can get rhinestone templates off of Etsy that are already made. You just got to cut them out and brush the stones in. DTF, where you can get good vector graphics, right, off of Etsy and be able to just print and press and keep going. You ain't got to do any editing. And embroidery designs as well is fabulous. Absolutely love those too. So, you just got to kind of have to pick and choose, but for the most part, everybody's stuff is pretty good. I'm gonna grab that cup. It's right. I gotta show you.
We would, girl, and I'll take her some of these comments we have. Let's see who all we have here. Appreciate you, Mr. Appreciate you, Mr. Eastshot. He's shouting us out all the way in New Orleans. We sure appreciate you for tuning in. Girl, my time.
Not Nowlands. I need to go to Nowlands one day.
How you doing, Miss Catherine Davis? She said great information. I remember when she did a Sure Cuts a Lot video.
You have to be able to cut out those templates, and they have to be at the right size, because each stone, there's a set size in stones. So you can't, like, for instance, this YouTube logo, I can't enlarge it or reduce it because the stone circle has to be a set size for that specific size stone. So if I reduce it or enlarge it, then I'm going to throw off the size of my template, and my holes won't line up for my stones. So it has to be done in a certain way. Now, technically you can enlarge it or reduce it, but you have to know what the final size of that hole is, and that's where the drama comes in at. So but it's not easy to do, and I don't usually advise it unless you absolutely know what you're doing, and you know what the final size of the hole needs to be for your stones, whatever size stone you're using. So, but yes, Sure Cuts a Lot helps you remember or get the final size hole that you need in order to make sure that your template is cut successfully. But thank you. I appreciate you supporting the Rhinestone videos. Here's the cup that I did.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Hand placed every last one of these custom.
Oh, wow. Girl, that is amazing.
Night by night, and just kept plugging away and kept putting the stones. But I wouldn't run it through the dishwasher. Hand wash only. The stones shouldn't come off. Using the super tight, and it turns out really nice once I like the colors, but you can do all one color if you wanted to. So
girl, yeah. It is shining. It is blinging,
man.
Girl,
so
I
don't usually take that down.
Oh, girl, I bet the camera doesn't do it any justice. I can just see the twinkling. Oh my God, girl.
None of the rhinestones. The camera really doesn't do any of these stones, because that's one thing I do like about Be Createful. She has, regular quality stones that's, pretty affordable. Then she's got high quality stones that bling like real diamonds, man. And it's just like,
oh wow,
you can tell. For instance, this is a little pin that I got off of Amazon one year before I started doing rhinestones, right? I bought this, and the shimmer from this versus this, if you were to see it in person, is market difference, because these are like cheap, real cheap stones, whereas this is like high-end stones on this thing. So there are quality differences.
They look icy to me.
Right. So as you can tell, we like bling around here.
Yes, ma'am. We know.
Oh no, not buying something new. I'm bad about that. I get fussed at for that all the time. You made me buy. I'm sorry. I thought it was cool, and I wanted to show and see that you can do it too. And people like, you made me go about. I'm sorry. I get fussed at on the regular for that. Sorry.
Oh, girl, it'd be like you definitely. It'd be like I don't want to scroll stuff because if I see something, I'd be like, and my wife, she'd be like, you bring another printer in here, you
Right.
gonna be out there. And she said, you
Right.
brought another printer, and you thought I was playing? So yeah, that's why I be in the garage.
Right. I'm going
Thank
through
you,
the
making.
same thing. So Marilyn, you ain't got to worry about me adding nothing else no time soon because I done already had that talk. Been I've had that talk, and he was like, no, nothing. It was a miracle he let me get that 24-inch printer, but it's because it's the same, same craft. It's not something different. If I bust up in here with that laser, I'm probably gonna have to, yeah.
Congratulations on the wide format DTF.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait. I am
Thank
so
you.
excited.
Thank you.
I'm be just waiting on the video like open, 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 open.
Man, I gotta make sure she running like she's supposed to first though. I ain't even tackled that project yet because I need the empty cartridges and I gotta find those so that I can run, the cleaners through it and make sure everything's just so before we get into it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because girl, you gotta be careful with those. They are just so sensitive. They are nice and they are easy, but they are sensitive. As long as you take care of them, they'll take care of you. But good Lord, girl, they are sensitive.
Yeah, they are. And it's funny, Mr. E saying, you have to maintain your own equipment so everything is user serviceable. But you know, that's the one thing that I learned in switching from the home embroidery machines to the industrial embroidery machines because it applies to any of this equipment. The name brand embroidery machine is not user serviceable. As a matter of fact, they dissuade heavily that you do not fix anything on that machine. Of course, we can. You can find anything on YouTube, but it voids the warranty if you open it
Yeah.
and do anything to it. So, what they want you to do is not user service it, but take it to them and let them fix it. Well, what if they got a backlog, which most of them do? A week.
Mm-hmm.
So you're down a week and you got orders over here piling up or orders waiting and your equipment is down. So user serviceable, in my opinion, is not all it's cracked up to be because that's the benefit with this machine. And even the DTF machine, I've had to learn how to take that sucker apart, and fix it, the print head and everything, because I can't afford to be down. When I got an order sitting there looking at me, I'd rather it be user serviceable because I'm technical, I'm hands on. I like taking stuff apart and fixing it. You know what I'm saying? I know
Yes.
everybody is not like that. But for me, it helps that I can get myself back up and running pretty quickly as opposed to having to take it to a service person and pay out the butt and then have to wait. I'd rather fix it myself.
Amen, girl. And especially, and that's one thing I can say about DTF. It does take a lot of the unforeseen because you have
Hmm.
to break, you have to go under, you have to maintenance it. There's a lot of things in DTF that you go in there, you clean this, and you have to do that if you do your
Hmm.
maintenance right. So where
Hmm.
you don't be scared, like, oh well, you
Right.
just gotta, you just go in there, and so that's one thing I definitely like with the DTF.
Yeah, you learn it.
Definitely want to shout out to Pink Tees and things. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I love her, girl. You got to check Pink Tees. I think I was telling you about
I
her. She
have.
is amazing.
I have. I'm subscribed.
That was so fancy. Boost say good tips, Miss Eve. I'm a beginner and want to start my own YouTube and have been too shy. Everyone in here giving me courage. What would you, the goddess, would you give Miss Fancy Boo?
Man, don't be shy. Because the funny thing about going on YouTube is it's just you. You talking to the camera. So even if you're pre-recording videos, it's just you live. I'm in here with Big Boi, ironically, but when I'm on Sundays, it's just me and I'm talking to the camera. Yeah, you do get feedback, from viewers, and I've had some trolls, in my live, and that doesn't bother me either.
Yeah,
Because even the negative folks that come in, and put thumbs down on your stuff or whatever, guess what? It's still a view. It still counts and it helps add up on my little piece of YouTube check that I get. So, I don't have a problem with the negatives. And then, folks saying negative stuff, I usually try and come back with something crazy like the one person came in, I'll never forget that, came into the live and was like, "Why are you fat?" And I'm like, because I like to eat. Duh. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let someone come in and just ruin my spirit in what I have going on my channel. So if you want to go live or if you want to be on YouTube, just tackle it head on. Use your cell phone. You don't have to buy no fancy darn equipment, no crazy lights and ring light and all that. I bought a ring light. Do I use it? No, because my lighting is adequate. You don't have to invest a whole heck of a lot in order to be successful on YouTube. Start out with your cell phone. Just make sure you, like my daughter said, "Mom, your lens is dirty. Clean your lens." So just make sure you wipe off your lenses on your phone. Make sure it's good clean, so it's your video ain't fuzzy. And then record. What you got to lose? Nothing really. So
and
just time.
one thing I like to tell people about YouTube: if you really truly want to help someone, YouTube is the best way to go because I get so many comments from my first video, my third video, and it'd be so many people. I just go back to when I first started crafting, and there was like, where do you go? Who do you ask? I didn't even know about YouTube, and it would have saved me so much. It would have saved me so many headaches. It was just
Yeah.
somebody I could just pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, man, how do you do this?"
Yeah, yeah. And don't be so shy to do a video, even if somebody else has the exact same video out there. And the reason why I say that is you learn different from different people. So you might not like to watch my channel because I am wordy. I do talk a lot and I love to go into detail and explain things detail by detail because that's how I learn. So you might want somebody that just gets to the point, say what they need to say, and then get the heck out of there. And that's okay. So you have your style in being on YouTube may be exactly what this person needs, whereas they don't like to watch me. And that's okay. So, go ahead, put your content out there. If you're genuine, you want to help, or you just want to put content out there, go ahead. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Do for you.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And I tell them like this: in the beginning, nine chances I tell you just gonna make a video. You can always take your time. You can just,
Hmm.
if you need to stop, take a break. But
Yep.
I assure you, people will appreciate it. And
Yeah.
if you really care about helping people, I'm telling you, it is just the most. It is the most. Um, just I love it. You know what I'm saying?
I do too.
It is the most rewarding, when you have somebody, especially, when you've been stuck and you can answer somebody's question because you've been there looking at it for 30 minutes and you just won't.
Exactly. Exactly. The and somebody is able to help you answer, and the answer is right there. And then too, keep in mind, even video editing software, they have apps on your phone that you can edit videos with. You don't have to have no fancy computer editing equipment either. Because I started out with an app called Video Show on my phone to edit my videos. So you don't have to have a bunch of craziness. Just get out there, do what you like to do, and make
Mhm.
it happen.
Oh, and one thing you tell me, well, I'm waiting for this and I'm waiting for that. Look,
Don't wait. What you waiting on? Go ahead and do it.
exactly.
Hmm.
Thank the best unit. She definitely wanted to give you your props and thank you for coming on. We definitely
Thank
appreciate
you.
you coming on tonight. It's
It's an
wonderful. I
honor.
appreciate.
It was an honor. Thank you. For
Hold on
Rhinestone, you
one
got it
second.
from Michael's. Yeah, that's when I pulled it up. It was on Michael's. So I mean, no, don't knock it. Just give it a shot. But I wouldn't necessarily expect it to last super long. So get super tight if you can.
Okay. Well, hold up. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was trying to get to some couple of these questions. Oh, thank you. Is that Mickey Mouse for tuning in? She
Oh, that's
said
cute.
that. Yeah, I think that is a neat name. I think that I think they were saying that the volleyball was. Oh, I think they might have been talking about the cup. I think they were talking about the volleyball, but
Mm-hmm.
that cup was beautiful. That was
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
Let
Hard
me
work.
say, what about Silhouette Rhinestone program? It,
I still use the same program personally. Silhouette is an excellent program. Now, let me preface that by saying I do not make my own rhinestone design templates. I mean, my own rhinestone designs. I don't. And the reason why is almost the same for my reason for not digitizing myself, my own customers' requests, is because it takes time. You have programs out there like Silhouette that you can put an image into the program and it'll lay the stones down on it, supposedly, right? But it's not always accurate, it's not always perfect. So you have to take the time to clean up those extra stones and make sure things are
oh,
laid out of it. It's technically hand placing it. Now, the best rhinestone design creators hand place their stones. They don't use a program to automatically do anything, especially fine tuning and stuff. They hand play stuff. So because of that, I ain't got time for it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Matter of fact, I recorded a video showing how you can make your own rhinestone design in Cricut Design Space. I refuse to. I haven't uploaded it yet because that thing made me so mad. Sitting there putting them stupid stones, just taking my, it took time. It was about like doing this, but
oh wow.
it was in the program, and I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this when I can get somebody else to do it? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you really, really, really want your own rhinestone design made, yes, you can use Silhouette. You can use Cricut Design Space. But I don't create my own design, so I still use Cricut. I go buy a template that's already made, bring it into Cricut Design Space and cut it out, and I'm done. If I want a specific design, like Big Boi prints, for instance, if I wanted a bling Big Boi print shirt, I would send his logo to someone to have them turn it into a rhinestone design for me, and then bring it into Design Space when they're done. Hey, here's your design, and cut it out. I don't do it myself. That's not my favorite thing to do.
I
So I don't do it.
understand. I understand. I understand. Mr. Doctor, appreciate Doctor C. Michael too.
I love it.
Yes, thank you.
YouTube. I sell that to my husband. I was like, I love it. He was like, YouTube.
So look, I'm gonna give y'all an exclusive. Do you want to know how the YouTube got started?
How?
When I was younger, when I get this from my father, I used to stutter so bad,
Oh,
but it
really?
only yes, but it only happens when you get nervous, and so when you get real nervous. So on my second intro, the first one I didn't do it on, but my second video, I got started. It was you.
Nice, nice, nice. I love it.
So I thought that was just so cute. That is definitely how
Oh, show.
how
You
got
see, and
started.
that's unique to you, and that's, as you see, it appeals. It was real. It was real, and I just it works. It works for you, and I love that. With that energy is amazing too. I like that.
Thank you.
And
Definitely shout out to.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump the gun on you, big boy, but she bringing out something I really wasn't trying to go there with at first. Because when I was telling you I was on YouTube trying to find them embroidery videos and I couldn't find none, I will say this though. I will 100% full of fact say this. I did get kicked back initially in trying to learn from folks because there were very few that didn't, look like me, so to speak, that was teaching. But when I did start teaching, the folks that came and learned and showed appreciation from learning, vast. I mean, I don't have any, you know, there, to take the kid gloves off during a time in the last few years where racism was just rampant and horrible. I didn't have that issue with our viewers. The crafting community has been very genuine, has been very open, very loving. Now I have been in, and I'm not gonna lie on this either. I've been in some groups where it was ugly. You post a certain design about a certain political affiliation, and oh my God, it was
Oh,
nasty. Actually, I didn't know grown folks could act like that. It was almost like middle school. I hated middle school. It was almost like middle school. But I also had a lot of issues. I was kicked out of a really big black girl crafting group. And I was
oh,
like, okay, whatever, and I didn't do anything wrong. But what other than be me? And I was like, okay,
hmm.
well, whatever. So I'm okay with that. But I have had the folks that gravitate to our channel have been so supportive and so loving. And like I told you, the elderly lady in the beginning, there was an older white lady. She was just as she would call every so often and talk to me about her niece and her cousin and talk about what they had for dinner. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And this is somebody who knew she saw my video, she knew who I was. But I get a lot of love from all around, and I just absolutely love that because we all share a love of crafting and a love of people. And that's one of my favorite things.
Oh.
That's one of my favorite things. I would have never met Big Boy. You know what I'm saying? If I had been crafting, would have never met him. Would have never met the best you.
Oh,
Would have never met
oh, oh.
things. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of folks out there that are really nice people. And, YouTube has opened that up. And I really appreciate that.
I definitely appreciate the platform, um, and that we are able to get out here and express ourselves. I guess when social media first come, I was like, oh, but
Right.
be able to reach out and teach and just to meet people and be able to keep hold. It is a beautiful thing because before I used to tell my kids, I'm like, y'all had Google and YouTube. I don't know, but
Right.
the words I can't shouldn't be in your vocabulary.
Right. 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 They can Google anything. It's crazy.
So here go Mr. JC Productions. I love him, love him, love him. He's trying to give the baby's booties her roses. That's one thing
Thank
I
you.
love about this. I definitely want to give. Oh, you got to give people the roses before it's too late and
Oh,
Lord knows
right.
nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
But we have to just. You are amazing, girl.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because folks is if you did end up having to go 6 feet under, they be, oh, she was so nice, or he was so kind, he was this, but where was that love when I was here?
Yeah.
So it's nothing wrong with showing support, and I appreciate showing support and receiving support. You guys have been phenomenal. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes, yes. And I appreciate them because sometimes it happens so fast, it grows. So I guess we are here now. JC Production said, do you use Illustrator or what program do you use outside of Silhouette?
So for rhinestones, I only use Cricut Design Space, and Make the Cut or either Surecuts a lot. Those are the only programs I use for rhinestones. I don't really use Silhouette for rhinestones. The embroidery program I use is for digitizing. I use Wilcom. For just regular embroidery editing, I use So What Pro. But for sublimation, I use Photoshop primarily. I used to use Publisher because that was all I knew, but I forced myself to learn Photoshop. So I use Photoshop for sublimation. And for DTF, I've forced myself to get into Illustrator. I'm still struggling with it a little bit. There's still some things that I'm just not understanding, but I'll learn it and I'm not super worried about it. But Illustrator and Photoshop, and that's it actually. For the most part, those are all the programs I really fool with that I can think of right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I tried to get into I tried to get into the I tried to get into Photoshop, but
Mm-hmm.
because I used to be cricket stuff, but I tried to get into Photoshop because I have a 44-inch printer, and there
Mm-hmm.
isn't too many
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
too
Oh,
many.
it's heavy duty. It's heavy duty
Yeah,
now.
and
They've
you gotta
changed recently though. Now they have a lot of presets, so to speak, where you click a couple of buttons and the background is gone and the colors all change. So they've gotten better. But yeah, there's a lot of settings. That's a heavy program to learn. But it's worth it, for in the grand scheme of things.
yes. We just, I think we just talked about the silhouette of the software.
Mhm.
What do you use?
I do
They
have
have a
I do have Rhinestone World Wizard. That's another one. I apologize. I did overlook that one because I paid 600 and something for that darn program and barely use it. But when I do use it, it works great. But I don't make my own templates with it because even in that program, it will make rhinestone templates, but you still have to edit a good bit. And I think that's where I just it's too much for me. It's a little bit too much for me. There's a lot of people that find success with it. Now I use it for my fonts and stuff like that, but I don't make my own designs with it other outside of fonts.
okay. Excellent. Making with Maryland said, what material do you use to cut your rhinestone templates from?
Oh, I started to grab that when I was over there. This is a the best way I can describe this material, not the plastic, but the orange. Now it's pink. You can only get it in pink or blue now. Blue is through the Rhinestone World. Pink is everybody else that deals with Rhinestone Flock. But anyways, um, do you remember way, way, way back in the day when women would have a jewelry box and the inside of the jewelry box was like this velvety kind of like lining material? This is very similar. Not quite as fuzzy, but very, very similar. And what that does is it allows for the stones to glide over it easily and fall into place pretty easily. And then because it has that soft texture, whenever a stone lands in these holes upside down, when you brush another stone over the top of it, it flips it right side up so that as you brush, all the stones end up right side up in your template. So it's a really good material to use that's very helpful in doing rhinestone templates. You can use cardstock. Some people use cardstock. I haven't been successful using cardstock. But this is called Rhinestone Flock, and that's available at the Rhinestone World and becreateful.com as well. Um, I normally, as I mentioned, get my supplies from Be Create for her prices are very friendly. So I shop over there.
Well, you is definitely dropping some gems tonight. I know
We're
I
here
know
to help.
people appreciate.
We're here to no secrets. No secrets here.
Is that
I
Elohim?
wait, girl. Yes. Elohim Embroidery. Hello. How are you, neighbor? Wadesboro.
Thank
The
you
best.
so much for
Best uni girl. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that because I thought it. I was like, well. Charlotte love, yes, we love Charlotte. Charlotte in the house, not Dallas.
Oh.
So what do we? Carolina Panthers. We're the Panthers. Yeah, I'm not a sports
Hey,
person. It's like whatever.
what?
Nope.
No.
Nope. I used to say that people be like, "What's your team?" I'm like, "Whatever team sends me a paycheck." That's my team. Now I will say this: I may have to change that because I'm trying to tell you during face mask season, Dallas Cowboys folks kept me. I mean, they kept my bills paid. I am not going to lie to you at all. I got in with one of the fan groups, a pretty big fan group in this area, and they kept me jumping. You know what I'm saying? So they were sending me. I might have to switch to the Cowboys, but I mean, or choose the Cowboys, but I don't. I could kill this. I can't see paying their pockets when, bro, you entertaining me. I'm gonna pay you. You need to send me some money. But anyway, that's funny. Sorry.
Girl, that Cowboy Nation is crazy. We are berserk. We don't care. We will pay whatever.
Right.
If somebody asks me, girl, they be like, what do you want? Cowboys. How much does it cost? I don't care.
And these Panther folks, you be like, okay, well, this shirt is, $16.90. What? You can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Cowboys, this shirt is $29. Okay, how many can I get? I want 4, I want 5, I want this. I'm like, bruh, how? Can I go up on my price, please?
No, they put it on red, green, black, blue, orange.
They did not care. They was paying. You know what I'm saying? That's not even using any of their real logos or nothing. It was just like, it was crazy. I was like, well, whatever. Because I told them I'm not going to jail for nobody. You know what I'm saying? We going to figure a different way to do this. And so, yeah. They kept my bills paid. I am not going to lie to you. That was crazy. Last year was tough.
I was wondering, and that's one thing, I was talking about last week. That those face masks, I know a lot of people ate real good off those face masks. How was so was you kind of early? Was you up on it early? And
yes, sir.
Did you?
I don't know why. And I don't know what kind of divine hand was involved, but I started looking into making face masks on my embroidery machine in 2019. Actually, no, that's not right. Because when did COVID start? COVID kicked off 2020 because this is 2021. Yeah. So 2019, the end of 2019. So it was 2019. The end of 2019, a really good friend of my children's passed away. And I'm more than positive it was COVID. But anyways, so that was in November. So if you back up to like June, July, I was looking into learning how to make face masks back then. I don't know why. But there were like 5 videos on YouTube about how to make a face mask yourself with the sewing machine. So I was trying to figure out how to make one on the embroidery machine. Couldn't figure it out. Fast forward to March of 2020. And I saw over in China, because I love to watch the news, keep an eye on the news and stuff. And over in China, they was talking about how bad it was, and they were spraying down trains, and they were telling people to stay home, and people were dying and stuff. And I'm like, if this is that bad over there, people travel. So that's going to come here. Kid you not. I kid you not, Big Boy. God is my witness. March, I started going to Sam's and stocking up on Lysol, cleaning stuff, Lysol wipes, gloves, stuff like that. I did. And I was like, this is crazy. So then you fast forward and it came here. It blew up here. Actually, it was February that I bought that stuff because March. So yeah, that was February. Then come March, because my kids laughed at me. They were like, why are you wiping stuff down? Why are you buying all this? I said, I tell you what, when you get sick, you gonna live in the garage. You're not coming in my house. I have Lysol and I'm keeping myself. They laughed at me. They ain't laughing no more. But anyway, so March, that changed. Then I'll say April, because they shut down in March. I started telling people, if you do anything, you don't do anything else, learn how to make face masks and get these face masks on this embroidery machine. They'll tell you, because as a matter of fact, I have a live video telling people this. Get on this face mask game, because if you're not, if you want to make money, you need to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people listened, and when they did, man, they was breaking money hand over fist. We talked about it several times in the live on how much money people were making face masks custom for people. And that was before sublimation even really came into play with the face mask. It was more making it yourself, because people started out just making them on the sewing machine before they started getting some that they could sublimate. But yeah, the face mask game was insane. I started a Shopify, and the amount that we made in like 3 months time, because the Shopify gave 3 months for free because it was COVID back then.
Oh, wow.
So I had it for 3 months for free. In that 3 months, I never paid to start the Shopify, because at the very beginning, it started raking in. And then right there at the very like midway month 2, it started tapering off because people found more masks became available again. You see what I'm saying? Because at one point you couldn't find a mask, no matter where you were. We were making them, So once people started being able to get masks again, around about the midway mark of my second month, it started tapering all the way down to by the time I got to the end of the third month, my sales was like, barely there or whatever. So I just closed the shop, because people could get masks cheaper instead of paying what I was charging, which I wasn't charging, but they was getting the dollar mask from the stores again. So during that period, it kept us alive. It kept food in our house. It kept, what I'm saying? It really did. And I know that was divine. In my opinion, that was divine. And after that, I got sick of face masks. I don't want to make not none of them, bro. I don't want to see a face mask. Yeah, we jumped during that period. So
I know you, man. I know you had to enjoy it. I caught in right at when the sublimation face mask started joining. But sublimation taught the sublimation mask taught me a lot. The face mask taught me a lot because I was really kind of just starting to find my own way. Instead of messing up a whole t-shirt or trying to, I would just put my design on a face mask, and I would try to show people like, look, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. And I think that was just it really taught me a lot. Instead of messing up a lot of materials, I could just mess up that little dollar face mask what I got it for.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, them Dallas face masks, I was sublimating the fabric and embroidering, like putting the face mask together on the embroidery machine to create a face mask. If I got one, I'll show you, but I don't know that I have one over, because like I said, I didn't want to see not nail up face mask. So I don't usually keep them right here. But I'll see if I have one. Do I have one? I don't think I have one. It's been a while since I've touched one. Yeah, no, I don't have one near me, I don't think.
Yeah, JC Production say yes. When it comes to when it comes to football, these people they do not mind paying. Let me see.
No,
I think we have a rhyme. Let's see. Special material has a rhinestone flock as well.
Yeah, there are quite a few rhinestone suppliers out there.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Well, I guess it's time to go to I guess it's time to go to one thing I do is everything all right, Miss Eve. We ain't keeping you up too late, are we?
Time has flown by. I if you hadn't said nothing, I wouldn't even realize what time it was. Now husband may have something a little bit more to say about that, but we can go a little bit long.
Okay.
I tell you what,
perfect.
I give you your 20 minutes, and we can have fun. I was looking for a face mask. I thought I had one right here, and I'm trying to think of where one is, but I can't think of where one is right now. Because I
Excellent.
used to have a
Okay.
whole thing of Dallas Cowboys masks for that club, and I don't know where they are. So sorry.
No problem. No problem. No problem. Well, I guess we're gonna come to one of the last segments right before we like to close it out. We're gonna put you on the hot seat right quick. Ask you a couple of
Sure.
questions.
Anything.
Okay. So I think we might have when you first got started uh what was your software? Do you choose was it a Cricut or a Cameo?
I chose Cricut. And the reason why I chose a Cricut is because when I started with using a cutting machine, because I had a cutting machine long before I started embroidery, but I didn't. Actually, I'm lying. Hold up. Ooh, let me back up. I'm lying
Uh-oh.
about that. I'm lying about that. I did get the Cricut after the embroidery machine, but back then, Silhouette's price point was insane. So the difference in price led me to Cricut. Um, and the interface was so simple; it was easy to use. I didn't have to pay extra for software at that time. So Cricut was the go to choice at that point. So I started out with the Cricut One. It's called the Cricut Explorer One. I still have it. I still cut with it today.
Oh
And
wow.
then I was gifted a Cricut Air 2. Um, and so I started using that. But then 2019, just before the pandemic, I was at a MBM show and I bought the Silhouette 4 for the first time. I owned a Silhouette. Do I use it? I've used it maybe 3 times since then.
Oh wow.
Because I'm not used to it and not used to the Silhouette design software. So and then when I bought it, there was some bugs with the 4.
Uh,
And I guess I had some of those bugs. It wasn't cutting correctly or whatever. So it's down there in the box, just about brand new. And my husband's been on me to sell it, but I can't let it go because it's like I want to have it in case I need to teach something with it or whatever. But I just don't really use it.
no problem, no problem. If let me ask you a question. If you had the choice, if you had to choose, would you craft or would you teach?
Mm, that's a loaded question. I don't know. I really don't know because I love to teach. I love to teach and I love people. So just to have like we're having conversation today and talking to folks, that's my element. I love people, even though I'm an introvert. Go figure. But crafting is like my personal time where I can do for me and things I want to do. So I guess I will say crafting, unfortunately. And the reason why I would choose crafting is because a lot of times I prefer to have me time more so than interact with people. But again, a lot of that has to do with the symptoms and things I deal with the PTSD. Some days are just not good days. So, yeah,
Yeah, I understand. Well, I'm gonna ask you one last question
you're fine.
before we get who nowadays would you say inspires you?
Actually, the folks who come into the YouTube on Sundays, every Sunday, they inspire me. The subscribers to the channel, the members of the channel, the paid members of the channel, the folks who are members in the hoop group, they're the ones that inspire me because, without them, I'm talking to myself basically.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are so understanding despite a lot of the things I personally have going on. And health issues and whatnot. But they also constantly ask, for advice, for assistance, or what you got going on, or what you have going on, and it gives me something to look forward to celebrate what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, hey, when you work on a project, post it in a group. I want to see it. Because
Yes.
that's testament to the world, the crafting world that we live in. When you can see Big Boi and he posts that hat that sublimated on the back with the different colors, I'm like, bruh, I didn't even think of that. That was smart. You can sublimate. I guess you could sublimate on that. I wouldn't have thought to do that, and you did. So that's the type of stuff that inspires me, because now I want to try sublimating on the back of a hat, just to see, just to see how I can do it, if it'll work. Turn the temp down, maybe. I don't know. So that's the type of stuff that keeps me going, because rhinestones. Yeah, I was curious, but I'm getting into it, or I got into it because I wanted to teach. And I wanted to show other people what they can do. Embroidery, getting into the embroidery machines and such. I didn't really have a need for these big machines. This was because somebody wanted to learn how to use them. So I got into it for that reason. So the folks that tune in on the regular basis, that take the time and appreciate what I have to teach, that's my inspiration all day, every day. Because my kids, they don't care.
Yeah.
My kids don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? They 25, 20. I have 6 children. So they range from age 27 down to 21. And they just like, and you know what I'm saying? So my son and his interest in starting a clothing line is, one of the first inklings of I have an interest, other than, hey, can you make me blah, 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 blah. Aside from that, starting a clothing line was it. The daughter that was just in here learned how to thread the machine one time. Boy, I was proud of the peacock, and she ain't touched it since. You know what I'm saying? So, it's the folks out there that keep me going more so than anybody else. And I'm
Yes,
grateful. Oh my God. I am so grateful. So
yes.
grateful.
Definitely congratulations on those kids, girl. I got 6 myself, 5 boys and 1 girl, and I got 2 of them left, and I'm just ecstatic.
I love my babies now. I love my babies.
I will hit this comment section one more time, see if anybody has anything, question, and we will. Let me see if we have anything good. Thank you, Michelle W. Appreciate you turning in from
From LA.
LA. Thank you,
Good
Miss
night.
Uni. We definitely appreciate you tuning in. See PTs and things. We're so grateful for the kids. This definitely know Pink Teens and things. She is a nurse, and she
Oh, sweet.
works. Yeah, I think she's definitely out there on the front line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Th- Thank you, Michelle W. We appreciate you for tuning in. Miss, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Nicole. I'm sorry. There we go, Miss Nicole. Thank you so much. Let me see. Miss Duffy say you can cut a
Yeah.
rhinestone template with get glitter vinyl and it will give it the rhinestone look. Oh, okay.
You can, but it's better to use the holographic vinyl. The holographic
Yes.
vinyl looks exactly like rhinestones. Glitter vinyl works too, but there is a slight difference. That holographic vinyl, man, I had several folks fool one time. They were like, "You sure that's not so?" You can feel it. It's flat. It's not the same. But yeah, the holographic vinyl, cut that and press it. It looks just like rhinestones from a distance.
And oh, I
Cool. Thank you,
did
Pete.
not
Pete.
know that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, DTF is.
Yes.
Ooh, shit. I needed that answer, y'all. I hate the way. Look, it's crazy. I don't. You know how when you're weeding, the vinyl has like static electricity and it sticks to you. Oh my God, that gives me the weebie jeebies. I don't like. I can't stand for that bite. I mean, it just stick to my. I'm like, get off my hand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm weird like that. So it's just like, man, I don't have to deal with none of that powdering and curing and pressing my DTF films. I love it. It's a godsend. It's my favorite thing to do. One of my favorite things to do for doing shirts, t-shirts.
Well, babies, I sure do appreciate you coming in with on us tonight. Is there anything you want to say to the people? And make sure you give out your information again where they can get in contact with you or the group and all the information.
Well, we're at Facebook, The Baby's Booty. Everything is The Baby's Booty. So as you see, without the apostrophe, we're on Instagram at The Baby's Booty, Facebook at The Baby's Booty. YouTube is The Baby's Booty Charlotte. And then we have the Hoop group, but you can search The Baby's Booty and the Hoop group should pull up. Twitter at The Baby's Booty, and TikTok at The Baby's Booty. But ultimately, you guys keep tuning in to Big Boi. You know, his energy is awesome. His charisma is contagious, and he has excellent products. He's very knowledgeable about the DTF. So definitely give his products a try, because if that white ink doesn't separate, like I have yet to see it separate, then he owns to something, and this really needs to be out there in the community, because separation is one of the things that we struggle with in all DTF. So we really need to push that product. But ultimately, thank you. We here at The Baby's Booty appreciate you having us on the channel and allowing us to share our story, our little bitty story. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, oh God, like I say, thank you so much again for blessing us. And you always have an open invitation here at the Big Boy Prince. Thank you so very much, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. If you look,
um,
if you get positive feedback, we'll come back. You know, the people might be like, "We don't want her back on. She talked too much."
no,
My
girl,
bad.
you have set a record. I've never seen so many people out. So, oh God, I just
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
what's
We
up.
appreciate you so much. I mean, they have tuned in and they let it be known that they are in the building. So
That's what's up. Well, we'll definitely
definitely
come back.
thank you so much. We're gonna close it out. You just hold on 1 second while we close it out, and
Yes, sir.
thank everybody again for tuning in to the Big Boy Spotlight. We bring out the who's who so y'all can see what it do. So I appreciate y'all, and we will be live tomorrow, Saturday at 11:30. Appreciate y'all, Big Boy, and we out.